The birds they're like our family. We just love having the ospreys. We're happy to provide the habitat and to make it available for our nest monitor and Deb and Marco.
I am on the board of directors at Yellowstone Valley Audubon Society. They're a very enthusiastic group. They volunteer their time to go and monitor the nests.
And I volunteer with the Osprey project through the Yellowstone Valley Audubon Society. So I have 5 nests that I monitor. I first got involved when I was teaching environmental science because I wanted something that those kids could help with. And so we took on one nest that's fairly close to school.
The work that we do with Yellowstone Valley Audubon is cooperative, and so having 40 or so volunteers out on the landscape is improving how many eyes we have on our system. We have kind of a heads up on areas where we might have problems with birds nesting on our system. So that's been a really important outcome from the partnership that we have with the group.
Before people, osprey would nest in broken off trees.
Frequently, they choose to nest in places that we don't necessarily want them to. It's not necessarily safe for them either on power poles. And so NorthWestern has been great about giving them alternative nest sites in the platforms.
So a platform is just simply a power pole that has no lines attached to it, has a platform on top of it where the ospreys will then build their nests away from the areas where they've been causing problems on our system. Each situation where we have an osprey nest platform, almost always the platform ends up going on private property. And so we've got several hundred landowners that have been cooperators helping us get the birds away from our system.
One of the first years we were living in our old house, we were sitting out on the deck and enjoying a beautiful evening, and all of a sudden there was this big boom.
Just up the hill here, we have a small substation where ospreys were building nests about 15 years ago, and they were causing some equipment damage. And so what we've done is we've erected an osprey nest platform behind us to get the birds away from the substation.
They put the platform up. We were very grateful and thankful for the Audubon Society and for the Northwest Energy to provide that for us, because it's safer for us, it's safer for them, it's safer for our neighbors.
I think the baling twine is a big one. You pretty much almost always see twine hanging out of the nest.
And it's very, very easy for the young that are raised in the nest to get tangled up in this. It'll hang off the nest and dangle sticks, which will hit power poles and start fires and outages. Keep it picked up and recycle it, because it is recyclable. There is a recycling center up 2 miles north of Laurel. We've got a big barn set up there, and it can be recycled there.
I think it's important for the general public to know that NorthWestern puts forth the effort to mitigate any impact that power lines or power transmission may have on wildlife.
If you drive across Montana along several of our larger rivers, you'll see osprey nest platforms placed along areas where we have power lines.
At least in eastern Montana, the osprey population has really been increasing, and the adding of the nesting platforms, I think, has helped with that.
Montana does a pretty good job of getting a bunch of partners together to collaborate, and that partnership with NorthWestern and the state and nonprofits like the Audubon is something to be very proud of.